Great. Well, and you mentioned, how much we've been putting into these housing projects, and I think we've just been really doing a lot to work on all of our infrastructure in town, and so I kind of wanted to talk about some of those things. And first, something that was completed or almost completed that people are really excited about is the rec center renovations. Yeah. And I know you guys are there quite frequently.
You can probably tell.
I see you guys every now and then. So talk about a little bit about the renovations, what you were really happy with and the feedback.
Again, this is one of those projects that we really did think about the locals that use that facility when we were discussing how to do this and how to go about this. So just in short, we utilized the space that the old tennis courts were in. We moved the tennis courts to their own facility, which is now outside of the rec center proper. The tennis facility has its own locker rooms, its own parking. It's sort of a little island unto itself. And then we recaptured that, 11,000 square feet in 2 floors that include a cardio deck and free weights. And then we're doing some other movement in the building and moving the admin to where the old cardio was. And we're going to have a great kids wing where the free weights and weight machines used to be. So it is really a stunning rec center now. I think you would be hard pressed to find a public recreation facility that is as nice as what we have in Breckenridge. And honestly, you got to thank the visitor for providing the sales tax base that allows us to afford these kind of things.
Right.
And you know what they say, if you build it, they will come. And we have already seen, we've had our first full month of the new facility being open in January. And we looked at our January numbers compared to our January numbers of 2017, and we saw a remarkable increase in all of our programs that are offered and the participation of those programs and just general entry in through the front door. And so it's nice that I think that people, it's probably attracting people that may not have been going before because they're hearing about it. And so we're getting people out and engaging in healthy activity, which is important also. So.
Yeah, and so following the rec center, another big project, maybe not as sexy, but still just as important, is our second water treatment plant. And I know we're getting into the thick of that, and that'll be a big focus in 2018. So talk a little bit about that.
You will see us out there this spring starting to break ground finally. And this is something that we have been talking about for at least, over 3 years with the community. But there's been a lot of work and there's a lot of behind the scenes that's been going on. And we've been, we've spent the last year just securing easements to lay all the new pipe that's going to go to the water plant. We have demoed the old Breck Bears building that was on that site after several successful years there, but that business moved on. And so you started to see some things happen, but you're really going to see it start to get constructed this spring. And it's going to be a great asset for the next 50 years for this community. And it's going to allow us to have redundancy and be able to, provide water in any type of situation now that we'll have 2 operable plants. And, we're kind of on an island at this end of the county with nobody to really attach or have any cooperative agreement with to help us out should there be some sort of an emergency or a wildfire. And so this was important for the community for sustainability, and it'll have some nice little side effects of potentially having more water flowing through the Blue River because we won't be taking the water out upstream, and it'll flow through town more in the river. And so that's kind of a side benefit to this whole project. So we'll be talking about it. You'll be seeing the construction going up. I think you'll be surprised. Like everything in Breckenridge, it probably won't look like a water treatment plant. It was important. It's right at the entrance in town. It'll have some iconic features to it. That'll be nice. So,
it's not small.
No,
but super important. Like Rick said, the redundancy factor is a huge deal. If something would ever go wrong, right now we've sort of boxed ourselves in a corner because if anything would happen to our current water plant, I don't really know what we would do. I mean, I guess we'd be handing out bottled water to everybody.
Get
but
a bunch of life straws.
Yeah, right? This is a huge key to the success and future of this community, is to have a second water plant that's redundant. So if anything happens to the old one or anything happens to the new one, we can adequately provide water to the community. Right. It's a big, big, big deal. Plus, going back, councils going back for hundreds of years now have really gone out of their way to make sure that we have adequate water rights. And if you even watch the news partially, you know that water is a big deal in the West.
Right.
Breckenridge has some of the oldest and most concrete water rights in the state of Colorado, and that is a big deal. And it is imperative that we have the ability to use that water.
Yeah. So we've got parking, we've got housing, we've got water. Another big thing in our town is broadband and internet. And I think people are just going to start to hear about what we've been doing. But Rick, maybe just briefly talk about what we've done in that realm and how exciting that is.
I think this is going to be a really exciting project for 2018, and we're moving quickly on this, so stay tuned. And so this is really about trying to improve what we call a fiber broadband service to the community. There's a movement afoot, and not only in Colorado but nationally, I think, for people to look at broadband as a utility, much like water or electric that is provided in there. And we're seeing where municipalities are getting involved in helping to facilitate that. And there's a couple of different models we can use where the municipality may become the utility, or they may just partner in a public-private partnership. And we're seeing this happen in some areas of Colorado. But the end result is we want to get fiber into this community, and our goal is to have fiber to every door.
Yeah.
And we're talking gig service here.
Yeah.
So I mean, people are paying through whoever your internet service provider is, when there's only a couple of options really in Summit County. You're paying extra usually for 100 megabyte and that's up to. There's always those keywords, up to, which doesn't happen that often. I mean, we're looking at 5 to 10 times that speed, which is very doable, and at what would be a fraction of the cost.
Right.
Because really it's, this town, we're not about trying to make a profit about this. We're trying to provide a level of service to the community and to recover, costs for doing that. And so if you're just trying to cover costs, much like we do with our water plant, it's not about making a profit, it's about covering costs to operate it. You can do that at a much lesser cost of service. So those of you that are listening, really, when we start talking about timeline, we're working with a consultant right now. We expect March or April to start releasing survey information out to the community. And it's really going to ask what you're looking for with regards to broadband internet service. What would you like to see? And would you have an interest in signing on to a different internet service provider if they could deliver much faster speed at a much cheaper cost? Now, I don't know who would say no.
Seems
to
like
that.
an easy question to me.
I mean, I stream a lot of movies, so.
So really what we try to do is we try to understand what's the take rate. The take rate is what percentage of people in this neighborhood would sign on to that. So we come in and we'll start identifying those neighborhood areas that make the most sense, and this is really could be a reality for us to start doing this within easily within the next year. I think we'll start doing something, and to be looking at town-wide in a 2 to 3 year period.
Yeah.
So,
bam.
Easy.
It's aggressive.
Just like that.
And exciting.
And just keeping it rolling, we're doing a lot. So the next thing is our MOU with Xcel Energy and our 100% renewable energy goals, and what we've done to really give teeth to those commitments.
Yeah, the MOU is a big deal. I mean, so we have goals to take our facilities to 100% renewable, which is a little bit easier because the town obviously controls things like the rec center by 2020. 25. By 2035, we'd like the entire community to be electricity to be powered by renewables. The only way you can achieve that for a community this size really is to work with the electricity provider, which in our case is Xcel. We are the first we're the first community in Colorado that Xcel has reached out to and said, hey, we want to have an understanding with you that we both are headed towards this goal. We're both on board with this goal, and we will help each other work towards making Breckenridge a 100% renewable community without really increasing what is a legitimate cost for electricity. So Xcel's become a partner. It's been really pretty quick that this happened. We've had a couple discussions. Some of you may know that we signed on with the Colorado Compact of Communities, which was started by Steve Skadron, the mayor of Aspen, last year. So we're on board with trying to fight climate change, and this MOU is part of that, as well as a lot of other things we do, like putting people in housing in the community, expanding our transportation offerings, trying to get people out of their cars. So we are dedicated to a better future.
Yeah. Clean air, more snow.
Clean air. What were they saying at the thing? Clean air, clean water. There was another tagline that I can't remember. Clean air and clean water. You know, that's why people move here.
Right.
That's what you want when you live in Breckenridge, Colorado. We should be at the front of the pack trying to push this for the rest of the state and the rest of the world.
Yeah.